Hello, darlings. Welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name is Freedom. Thank you for joining me. So, in tonight's episode, I wanted to quickly discuss whether or not narcs love their kids. Before I start, I would just like you to please subscribe, share, and like the videos if you'd like to see more videos like this. Help me grow the channel by sharing. So, if you ask a narcissist, do they love their children? Well, of course they're going to say yes. Narcs will be the first one to tell you how much they love their children. But the evidence speaks volumes. So, let's just back up a bit. What we know about narcs is that narcs do everything for fuel. And children actually give narcs fuel. They get fuel from the child itself because, little kids, let's face it, they love you. They give you so much energy and love and adoration. They look up to you. It doesn't matter what you say. You are bigger than Ben-Hur, to a child. All little kids love their dads. Little kids are easy to love. But, as I said, narcissists don't love. They don't love themselves, they don't love their partners, and they don't love their children. But they get fuel from little kids. They also get fuel from other people. So, look, for example, when dad's playing with the kids, I've done it myself. I've gone, oh, look, isn't he sweet? Look how sweet he is with her. So adoration, looking up to him, talking about him to other people, that's all fuel. So, narcs do what they do to get fuel. So he would continue the performance. It's all just performance art. But they also get fuel from not just the mums and the children, but they get fuel from other people witnessing him being a good dad. And on that note, actually, it's quite sinister, but as most of you know, I've been covering Chris Watts, the case in America with Chris and Shanann Watts. Chris Watts' girlfriend actually sent an email to her best friend talking about what a good dad he is. Yeah, great dad. Actions speak louder than words. They will always say they love their kids, but do they pay child support for them? Most of them don't. Are they there when the child actually needs them? Most of them aren't. Do they remember birthdays? Do they bother to call them? Most of them don't. Unless they can actually detour around the child to get to the mum, that's usually when they will call or they will keep up connection, is when they have to go through the mum. So they're still getting fuel and supply from mum, which is just, that's not being a good dad. I've just got some notes here. All right, so what have we got here? Okay, so they also get fuel from the children's intellect. When people go, oh, but he's so smart. Oh my God, that child of yours is so smart. And dad's standing up there going, yeah, gets it from me. Good-looking kids. Oh, she's so pretty. Oh, God, she's so gorgeous. All of that is fuel for a narcissist. Anyone gushing like that over a child is fuel for a narcissist. The narcissist would proudly put forth that child and say, oh, that's my child. Yeah, I'm the dad of that smart, intelligent, good-looking child. And their achievements in life as well. The narcissistic parent often wants to come in and take credit for the child's achievements and accomplishments in life, whether or not they've had anything to do with the raising of that child or the child's accomplishments at all. So this is the thing. When you start looking at, what they get fuel from, and when you start looking at the patterns of behavior, I would actually say flat out no. I don't believe that they do love their children at all. I believe that children are a source of supply and fuel. I believe that children are a way to manipulate and control the mother or the father. I always just, speak. I'm speaking to the women folk. Narc Free Formula is specifically for women. Obviously, we have men who will watch the episodes, and that's absolutely fine. But I'm just not going to do the whole she and he and she. I'm just not going to do it. Okay? So my gender specific is female. So I'm talking to the girls. So when I talk about narcissists being male, that's just the way I'm going to do it. Anyhow, so yes, they get a lot of fuel. They don't really like the responsibility. They don't really like the attention going to anyone but them. And it's quite interesting. I never thought I'd see a grown man sulk over a child's birthday party, but I have seen that in my lifetime. I've seen it too many times. And now, like at the time, I just didn't know. I just didn't know what it was about. But now I understand. What it's about is they're not getting the attention that they think they should be entitled to. The world's not revolving around them on that particular day, and they get jealous. Often the narcissists actually become jealous of their children. And that's really disturbing, to be honest. I think that's kind of really, really disturbing when you see your actual own flesh and blood, when you see them as a threat to your relationship or to your standing or status in the household. But it's a fact, it's a fact. So they don't really have time and energy for the kids. The times that they're being the best dad is when other people are watching. Okay, because they're getting fuel from that. They're getting to look like, dad of the year, what a hero, oh, he's such a legend. Look how good he is with the girls. It's amazing what he's done with those kids, like when they're getting all of that praise, that's what makes them act like a good parent. But when there's no one watching, they're not good parents. The other thing that narcs will use their children for is the kind of supply that they get when they're not having contact with their children. So, for example, my ex actually has his children's names tattooed on his fingers. And now that sounds like, it's a nice thing. He actually got the idea from my eldest daughter, who has her brother and sister's names tattooed across her wrists, which was a genuine gesture on her behalf. Whereas with him, his tattooing on the fingers was, I'm sure, in part triangulating the new supply. I'm sure every single time he started tattooing a letter, she was probably sitting there thinking, oh, I wonder if it's going to say, my name. I wonder if it's going to say my name. And each time it was just one of the kids' names. That's the kind of thing that narcissists do. Sorry, just 1 second. This light's being a bit funny. Anyhow, so that's a little bit bright in my glasses. Anyhow, what was I saying? So narcissist children, they use the children for supply. When they don't have access to their children, that's probably when they'll talk about their children the most, because then they get to play the, they take on characters. Remember, this is actor. This is performance art, right? So they get to take on a different character role. So now they can do the distance, the long, the grieving father who doesn't get to see his children because, the wicked ex-wife won't allow him. It's funny how they have, more than one wicked ex-wife who doesn't want him around the children. That in itself is a sign. One second. That in itself is a sign. So pay attention to the signs. They're there for a reason. So, as I said, mine actually has his children's names tattooed on his fingers, which seems like a really lovely idea, except he doesn't have any contact with all three of them. He doesn't pay a cent for any of them. He forgets their birthdays. He doesn't contact them. He has deliberately made the separations with both myself and the other kid's mum, just hell on earth. So if you actually loved your children, you wouldn't do those things. Getting something tattooed on you, getting a name tattooed on you doesn't prove that you loved your children. It just proves that you've got too much time on your hand to sit around tattooing your own fingers. And you should probably get off a job and pay some maintenance. Get off your ass and get a job, pay some maintenance is what, I would suggest. But anyhow, I'm going to wrap it up here. If I need to, I'll do a part 2 on this topic. But I think that for now, you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. No, they don't love their children. They just use their children like they use everyone else. It's all just for fuel. And if they don't get fuel from their children, they will abandon their children. So as soon as the children start to question them, start to not want to be around them, start to become too hard, teenagers, too hard to work with or deal with, narcissist is gone. They don't care. They're not going to work it out. They haven't got time for that. They're about getting fuel. They're not about giving energy to anyone. Yes, teenagers. I'll probably do another episode on that one. All right, darlings, thank you for joining me. As I said, please, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share across any of the platforms. Help me grow this channel. That will be fantastic. All right, darlings, get narc free, stay narc free. Bye.